down from Jerusalem and Jericho fell among the thieves, who stripped him of his clothes, wounded him, and departed, leaving him half dead. Now by chance a certain priest came down the road, and when he saw him, he passed by on the other side. Likewise, a Levite, when he arrived at the place, came and looked and passed by on the other side. But a certain Samaritan, as he journeyed, came where he was, and when he saw him, he had compassion. So he went to him and bandaged his wounds, pouring on oil and wine, and he set him on his own animal, brought him to an inn, and took care of him. On the next day, when he departed, he took out 2 denarii, gave them to the innkeeper, and said to him, Take care of him, and whatever more you spend, when I come again, I will repay you. So which of these do you think was neighbor to him who fell among the thieves? And he said, He who showed mercy on him. Then Jesus said to him, Go and do likewise. Please proceed. Today's been called Super Sunday because of the game, but I think every Sunday is super because of us coming together as God's people and worshiping. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 21, it says, To this you were called, because Christ also suffered for us, leaving us an example for us to follow in his steps. If you study Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, you'll find that Jesus, he ministered to old men, older people, younger people, men, women, people of different professions, fishermen, tax collectors, Pharisees, those that were sick, those that were considered untouchable. Even in Luke chapter 7, helping out a centurion, someone enlisted in a Roman army in charge of 100 individuals. And there in that particular passage, Jesus talks about this military man of having great faith, faith that even Jesus could not even see among Israel. You know, we as a congregation are diverse in a lot of ways. We have men, we have women, we have people of different backgrounds, people that are different professions, but we also have among this congregation people who have taken the calling of serving our country in the military. And we have one particular veteran who understands what it's like to be deployed, serve our country, but he also understands the transition of coming back from serving and coming back into civilian life. You know, as a minister, I don't know what it's like to serve. I don't know what it's like to go overseas and to serve our country the way that so many men and women do. But this individual does. And he has a passion. And for several months, he asked the elders this idea of serving our veterans, not only here, but serving our veterans in this community. And he's taken months in preparation, planning, and praying. And he wants to present that to you, Eric Owens. And I'm so excited about that because what a great way for us as a congregation, not only to serve those who have served our country, but also thinking about those in our community who are struggling, trying to find a solution to adjusting back to this life, and that solution we know is Jesus. But who better to help us lead that way than someone who knows what it's like to enlist, to go to boot camp, to fly over into a foreign land, and to serve on behalf of our military and our country, and to come back into civilian life. And I think what a great opportunity for us to give a service to those who have served us, and for some of them who paid the ultimate price in giving up their life for our country. I'll turn it over to Eric as he presents this great ministry and opportunity for us.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate that. I appreciate you. Appreciate your friendship and your leadership of me in all these years that we've known each other. I'd like to thank the elders here at Charlotte Heights for their patience and their permission to stand here and speak with you today about something that has been on my heart, has been on my mind for pretty much constantly for a decade now, I guess. Obviously, I was in the military for 20 years, and I was talking to a friend of mine last night at a basketball game, and I said, you know, she was asking when I got out of the Navy, and I was like, wow, that's 20 years ago. You know, it's 10 years. I mean, I've been retired for 10 years. So pretty much ever since I retired, this has been something that's been really uh, pressing on my heart. And I've just looked for the right venue, and just, you know, like Josh said, a lot of prayer, a lot of conversations, a lot of preparation, getting in touch with the right people, getting in touch with people that share my passion, people that share this desire, share this this calling for a ministry that is not your traditional, typical ministry or mission field. But I tell you, folks, this is very, very important. I'd like to ask. I was about to get people to stand up, and I'm not going to do that. If you have served or are serving in the military, will you please raise your hand. Okay, keep them up. If you know someone, if you have a family member that has been in the military, please raise your hand. If you are a friend of somebody from at work or something that knows somebody that's in the military, please raise your hand. Look around, folks. All right. All right. The opportunity that we have as a body of the Lord's church to reach people that would otherwise be unknown to you. We don't brag about, we have the bumper stickers and we wear little belt pins and stuff like that, and some Army people wear Army ties, but we don't really advertise what we do. You know, it's a call to serve. It's something to serve above us. You know, don't do it for praise. Certainly don't do it for money. Like I tell people in the athletic training world, you gotta love sports and hate money. If you're in the military, you're doing it for something a lot more than a paycheck at the end of the day. The world is a mission field. The world is a mission field, and we are God's missionaries. The interactions we have on a daily basis are what make us who we are as a body of the Lord's church. St. Francis of Assisi has been accredited for saying, preach the gospel at all times. Use words if necessary. Your actions, the way you conduct yourself, the manner in which you speak, the manner in which you carry yourself, the manner you interact with your friends and family and co-workers and everything, say volumes more than any word that can come out of this pulpit. The mission field I'm speaking of today is veterans ministry. Unique ministry. We currently have approximately 2.2 million men and women in uniform today. 2.2 million men and women in uniform. Scores more out of uniform right now. The similarities of this mission field and those of other more traditional mission fields are pretty interesting. I think this slide. They're not like us. My brother was a missionary in Italy in '86, I believe, and my mom and I went to see him. And you know, they don't look like us. You know, they have their own language. They run in packs, and their social circles are very small. They have very different value systems, always different value systems. They have different views, act differently, don't trust openly. Now, as far as the veterans community is, the military community, I can add, they have long hair. A lot of the retirees who come out, long hair, beard, tattoos, piercings, all this other kind of stuff. Active duty, current military, many of them have ink. You know, they use language that's not very not used for mixed company. Let's just say that for a lot of times. Okay. But the mission field, the veterans ministry mission field, is similar to what I experienced when I went overseas to see my brother. Language is different. They carried themselves differently. They have different belief systems. They have different value systems. But tell you what, folks, we have a lot more in common than you might think. Beloved, now we are children of God, and it has not yet been revealed what we shall be. But we will know that when he is revealed, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. It's not been revealed. Nobody knows what that really entails. Nobody really is sure is the full glory and nature of God will be revealed to us. They respect others. They have good days and bad days. They're law-abiding. They're hard-working. They provide for their families. They love their country. They love their family. Such similarities. It is amazing. They come with baggage. I mean, the baggage I speak of as far as veterans is concerned, for a lot of them, you know, many suffer from survivor's guilt, PTSD, PTS. Many are self-medicated and they're addicted to drugs or alcohol. Many participate in what the general public would consider reckless behavior, driving fast, reckless behavior, going rappelling, skydiving, all this other kind of stuff. You know, except for the skydiving part, I think all that's kind of fun. You know, most of the people, when you go to the VA and you fill out these cards that said you participate in reckless activity, what's your definition? Is I think you know, going outside the wire is pretty reckless myself. You know, and but however, we are called to receive one another just as Christ also received us to the glory of God. Romans 15:7. They come with more baggage. Many don't think that they even deserve love. Many have a self-defeating thoughts. They say, I failed, I've killed, I've left my family when they needed me. I've done things that I'm not proud of. Now, a lot of this I can understand, you know, but imagine this. Imagine what Josh is talking about. You take a young man or a young woman, 18, 19 years old, and they put their right hand in the air, right hand in the air, and they swear an oath to protect us. They write their check to the country, up to and including my life. Put a weapon in their hand, send them overseas or send them wherever to defend us. And then they come back and say, how it's done. There are many times on my deployments that I have felt that I have failed in a certain situation. I've had Marines die. I'm a corpsman. You're supposed to save their life. I didn't save their life, therefore I failed. That's the mentality of a lot of these folks. Okay, this is the baggage that they bring home with them. Okay, they've killed. They've been beat over the head ever since they were little. Thou shalt not kill. And the first thing the military wants you to do is go out and kill somebody. They can't really comprehend that. They can't reconcile that. They have trouble with that. They've left their family when they needed them the most. Tell you what, the hardest thing I had to do when I was overseas was to leave them. That was the hardest thing. Everything else is easy. But Eric, you were in combat. You were out outside Fallujah, the most deadly city in the world in 2004. I knew what I was doing. I knew where I was. And if anything ever happened to me, I knew where I was going. The idea of leaving them was the hardest thing. I've done things I'm not proud of. You know, a lot of veterans have slipped. A lot of us have slipped as everyday civilians. Again, this is the thing that would say, no, you're a lot more alike than you think you are. They don't think they deserve love. That goes to another thing. I mean, how can somebody say that they don't deserve love when God is love? Jesus died on the cross for every one of us. No matter what we've done, no matter what we've said, no matter how we've acted, no matter what our birth situation is, no matter what anything. God is love. Genesis 1:27 says, so God made man in his own image. I'll tell you one thing about the veteran, about the military member. We're very proud. You can pick a vet out of a crowd if you're paying attention. They sit, stand, mostly erect. Years and years and years of carrying a heavy pack on your back kind of makes you want to slump over a little bit. But for the most part, they're proud of their country. They're proud of the service that they did. It's something larger than themselves. That's the biggest thing. Proud of their country, proud of their brotherhood, proud of their family. Brotherhood is an interesting thing. I gave Ed some grief about it a little while ago, but one fight. Okay? The only time the Army and the Navy don't get along is the first weekend in December. That's Army-Navy Day. Otherwise, we're a brotherhood. This pride doesn't come without a cost. The burden is mentally, physically, and spiritually. And how do we as a family of God help? I can tell you, please don't pity them. People serve. They don't want your pity. They want your thanks. They want your help when they need it. Again, veterans are very proud. Sorry, just a slide that didn't get in there. How do we as a congregation get involved? Galatians 6:2, bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. Bear one another's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. One thing I have learned in the military is even when it's a suggestion, it's not a suggestion, it's an order. A CO or a senior enlisted comes up to me and says, hey, Doc, I need to do this. Could you do this? Aye, sir. There's no debate. I think there's 10 commandments in the Bible. There's more than 10 commandments in the Bible. Everywhere there's even a suggestion that Jesus wants us to do something or God wants us to do something. It's not a suggestion, it's an order. It's a law. Bear one another's burdens. Bear one another's burdens about what you're doing right now, just in the presence. Just in everybody's presence right here as a congregation of God's people. You are bearing one another's burdens just by sitting next to them. Okay? Out on the floor, you're talking. And communication is awesome. Having somebody say, hey, how was your day? Is awesome. Just one thing that's particular combat vet is the idea of killing them and going back, dealing with the death of a comrade, then coming back to a world that has gone on relatively oblivious to what was happening 10,000 miles away. Many times separated from the very ones who have intimate knowledge and similar experiences. Then there's the non-combat vet. I can't tell you how many times I've had one of my Marines, like on Veterans Day, Memorial Day, or something like that. They'll call me, they'll text me, they'll write me, whatever. They'll put something on Facebook, say, "Hey Doc, I didn't do what you did. I didn't go to combat. I didn't do this. I didn't do that." And that's actually a hindrance for a lot of people. Is the fact that they didn't do what you did. I said again, my response to that is the same thing. We wrote the same check. Yeah. We put our right hand in the air and put our lives on the line. Every veteran, regardless of branch of service, regardless of time of service, regardless of extent of service. I was in the military for 20 years. I got guys that are in the military for 4 years and done a lot more than I did in 20 years. We're the same people. We were the same people, we had the same struggles, we had the same family commitments, we had the same commitments to each other. And we as a body of the Lord's church have got to understand that this is a wide open mission field. The minute you walk out that door, you are a missionary. The minute you walk out that door, you are an ambassador of Christ. This is just another way to do it. This is just another way to affect a mass amount of people that are hurting. They may not look like it. I promise you, I go to the VA once a week, and there are people that I pass in the hall that look like the sunshine and rainbow, but inside, they're falling apart. They're falling apart physically, they're falling apart emotionally, they're falling apart spiritually. Because of all the things that I listed here this morning. The physical beating that they incur in boot camp and in AIT or in their A schools. And, you know, a lot of guys want to jump out of airplanes for some unknown reason, you know, and take that pounding. And then you're talking about combat loads and everything going into 130, 140, 150 degree heat in July in Iraq. All for the glory of serving something above themselves. When they come home, they intermix among the civilians. You won't even know they're there. But I promise you, they're hurting one way or another. We are all in a position as God's people to help. But Eric, I don't know what to do. I want to help, but how? As a congregation, prayer. When I was in Iraq, Brother Ed's military ministry, Mayfair congregation down in Huntsville, started getting care packages and cards and letters and all this kind of stuff. Man, you would not believe, hey, you're in my prayers. You're in my prayers. Those are not just words. Those are not just words. Those mean everything to us as a people, as a military force. Outreach services, lawn care, food preparation, child care, ministry, mentor, listen. Just listen. You know, show love and concern. Letters, care packages, get involved with veterans organizations, and get involved with veterans ministries at your local church. Who is my neighbor? Look outside your door. Anyone in need? Anyone hurting? Anyone searching for the truth? The Great Commission, go into all the world. The world is right outside that door. Go into all the world. That's not passive, that's active. Second greatest command, you shall love your neighbor as yourself. There is no other commandment greater than these. Mark 12:31, second part of it. Thou shalt love your neighbor as yourself. Go into all the world and love your neighbor. I just got a text this morning from my sister Vanda down in Georgia. She said she was listening to Dr. Phil Sanders. He's guy that speaks on In Search of the Lord's Way. He said he told a story of a soldier who had lost an arm, and the soldier said, "No, I didn't lose my arm. I gave it for my country." Think about that. I did not lose my arm. I gave it for my country. You can put that in biblical terms, just like Jesus did. Jesus says, "I did not lose my life for you. I gave my life for you." So what are we going to do? What are we going to do as a church? We're going to go and do likewise. There are myriad ways to support this worthy ministry. First is to pray for success and helping those who dedicated their lives to defending us. There's other things that are going on. Charlotte Heights is going to begin a veterans class. All veterans, spouses, and significant others, and families are more than welcome. That brother Tom Seals in the audience. He's got a program through Lipscomb University called God's Word for Warriors. This is primarily to help the ones that are coming back from combat, but it can also be used for anyone of the veterans. These things can help the members, the veterans, the families in times of trial. It can be a lamp to their feet and a light to their path. Now, obviously, this lesson has not been a how-to uh, guide to becoming a Christian, but I think the things that were presented today are what it is to be a Christian. We have to be about our Father's business. If you have not made your calling and election sure, now's the time. Now's the time. Now's to pick up the sword of faith and understand that God gave His Son for us. If you have any kind of need other than that, if you have something that's weighing on your heart, weighing on your mind, weighing on your soul, now's the time before it's too late. Now is the time. Right, wrongs, give your burdens to the Lord and to the Lord's family. If you need anything from this congregation whatsoever, please do so as you stand and sing.